Hi, my name is James, and I am the problem. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic, and I stream here 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So share with a friend, subscribe, and join the cause. Tonight we're going to be talking about self. It is said that alcoholism and addiction is a disease of self. It is said that I am the problem. Today we're going to be exploring everything from self-appraisal to self-centeredness, self-centered behavior, self-centered fear. What is a self-centered person? Self-confidence, self-deceived, self-control, self-constructed prisons, self-deception, self-destruction, self-delusion, self-discipline, self-esteem, self-forgetting, self-examination, self-evident, self-importance, self-insurance, self-interest, self-justification, self-knowledge, self-loathing, self-pity, self-overhaul. These are all the times the word self is said in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Self-pitying, self-preservation, self-propulsion, self-reliance, self-restraint, self-respect, self-righteous, self-revealing, self-sacrifice, self-searching, self-seeking motives, self-sufficiency, self-serving, self-survey, self-supporting, self-unconsciously, self-will, which is the problem, self-will, and self-without. This is a podcast where essentially you are the guest and I am the gracious host. I talk about my experience, try to communicate my strength and hope to anybody in need or anybody with loved ones in need. What up, Noah? Watching the debate, huh? Couch for life. What up, cats? Selfishness, yes. Pat Crawford, I'll take a daily reprieve. What up, Jem? So much self-hatred, self-love, self-help, self-inflicted. I was just reading the words of self that are mentioned in the big book. If you look up 164andmore.com, the word self in the big book. The one that rings to me is self-will. Let's read about self-will in the sentences mentioned in the big book. We are especially for freedom from self-will and are careful to make no request for ourselves only when praying. Each of us has had his own near-fatal encounter with the juggernaut of self-will and has suffered enough under its weight to be willing to look for something better. We attempt to sweep away the debris which has accumulated out of our effort to live on self-will and run the show ourselves. The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. We must be convinced that any life run on self-will can be a success. Think about it. Surely you'll agree. So our question will be this: how, by ignorance, compulsion, and self-will, do we misuse the gift for our own destruction? But when self-will had driven everybody away in our isolation and had become complete, it caused us to play the big shot in cheap bar rooms and then fare forth alone on the street to depend upon charity and the passerby. We hope you are convinced now that God can remove whatever self-will has blocked you off from Him. They arise out of ourselves, and the alcoholic is an extreme example of self-will run riot, though he usually doesn't think so. Like all the remaining steps, step 3 calls for affirmation action, for it is only by action that we can cut away the self-will, which has always blocked the entry of God, or if you like, higher power, and often seems no way of entirely getting rid of self without his aid. You can't get rid of self. Self is the problem. You can't get rid of self without the aid of a higher power. I choose to call that higher power God just because I'm lazy. I don't want to. Why rename the wheel? You know what I mean? It's God. The God of my understanding is surely different than yours. Probably not much different. What's going down, Michael? CJ, what up? Did you experience any neuropathy from drinking? Pins and needles, uncomfortable tingling in feet and hands. Yes, I have clinical neuropathy in my feet from the coma that I spent 3 months in 2007 as a result from wrapping my car around a tree while driving drunk. Neuropathy. It was one of the reasons I was prescribed Cymbalta, which is an antidepressant but also helps with neuropathy. From drinking, sure. Buddhist books, Gem says. Presidential debate or sober James, that is... that's an easy one. You either opt for lies or you opt for the truth. Which do you value? For me, I don't pay attention to politics because I seek the truth and always have. Anything other than the truth is a waste of my time. It's a waste of yours too. And I don't see any truth anywhere on TV. Especially in a presidential debate. Self. Those politicians are out for themselves. Hey, here's one for you. Self is the problem when it comes to alcoholism and addiction. Why do you think in the end we want to kill ourself? We go the whole time without realizing that ourself is the problem. What do you think killing ourself is a final acknowledgement of? It's very literal. We go our whole lives without realizing it's ourself that is the problem. And then we give up. But we finally, in an act of defiance, kill ourself. That's the ultimate admittance, and also the ultimate selfish act. Suicide is the ultimate selfish act, next to drinking and using drugs. I don't go, hey, I'm going to drink this 40 ounce so you get drunk and have a good time. No. I don't say I'm going to kill myself so you can live a better life. I mean, who knows? Maybe somebody's done that. Doubt it. It's not just a problem limited to addicts and alcoholics. Self-will run riot is a problem in politicians as well. It's a problem in human beings. Cymbalta helps, CJ. I don't deal with my symptoms. I'm actually not even sure if they're there anymore. I may have just gotten used to them, but pins and needles in my feet was what I felt. It's kind of like the feeling of your hand going to sleep if you sleep on it wrong. What about people that smoke cigarettes instead of drinking? They're just as bad. Drinking kills more people per year than all other drugs combined. The deaths of all other drugs, including nicotine, combined, do not add up to the deaths that alcohol causes per year. Sounds unbelievable. Do a fact check. But yes, nicotine is bad, unless you do it in the form of a Nic Tac. in the form of a knick-tack. Knick-tack. But I'm sure even that has its downfalls. Self will run riot. Let's talk about that. Everybody talks about how willpower is so valuable. You know who everybody is? Americans. Sure, willpower has definitely gotten some good results in my life and in the life of others and in the life of humanity as a whole. But when we work together, when we have the bigger picture in mind, when we help others, when we do for others and not for ourselves, even bigger things are accomplished. And you bet your baloney that in the future, and I'm talking distant future, mankind will have slowly figured this out. And we will be working together. Or at least that's what the AI videos on YouTube tell me. Self. Check your motives in recovery. Are you going for self, or are you doing for others? The only way out of self is through God, a higher power, whatever that may be to you. Jesus, an omnipotent being that has no face. It doesn't matter what it is. It needs to be a power other than yourself. If you think about it, it makes perfect sense. I've been thinking about it a lot. Where do opinions come from? Myself. Where do facts come from? Reality. God. God's will. Earth. Reality. Opinions get me drunk. Facts get me sober, or the acknowledgement of. These are all things bigger than myself. My opinions are minuscule. Facts are all powerful. Opinions never beat facts. You will beat yourself 6 feet under drinking at your opinions, while facts are saying you need to go to Alcoholics Anonymous and recover. Let's read a couple more self-references from the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcohol, now becoming the rapacious creditor, bleeds us of all self-sufficiency and all will to resist its demands. The philosophy of self-sufficiency is not paying off. The roadblocks of indifference, fancied self-sufficiency, prejudice, and defiance often prove more solid and formidable for those people than any erected by the unconvinced agnostic or even the militant atheist. Should his own image in the mirror be too awful to contemplate, and it usually is, he might first take a look at the results normal people are getting from self-sufficiency. Dangers of self-sufficiency. Problems of intellectuality and self-sufficiency. Self-seeking. A lot of self-seeking sentences in the big book. Is he not really a self-seeker even when he is trying to be kind? In a group of doctors possessed a cancer cure, they might be conscience-stricken if they failed their mission through self-seeking. It is more than a denial of self-seeking. Where we had been selfish, dishonest, and self-seeking and frightened. Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity, we step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. This is why we hurt so many people. This is why so many people are hurt and they retaliate in the grips of our alcoholism and addiction. We were driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity. We step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. Self-seeking will slip away. That's one of the promises of working the 12 steps, is that self-seeking will slip away. Self-righteousness. Self-respect. My health is good, and I have regained my self-respect and the respect of my colleagues. That's something I could say for myself, and it's not even full-blown yet. It's like an ever-expanding universe, this spiritual awakening. High-strength magnesium. Oh, for neuropathy? Yeah, magnesium is a natural remedy for nerve discomfort. The more I realize it, the more myself was the problem. And the spiritual awakening means many things. It actually has a meaning in the Alcoholics Anonymous. I'll read it right now. But to me, it means I woke up from worshiping, not worshiping myself. I woke up from, basically worshiping myself and my own opinions and my own direction and my own self-will. Self-pity was run riot. Self-loathing. Selfishness. Self-centeredness. Self-reliance. Self-drive. Anybody who claims self-made is an idiot. That's literally impossible. Number one. What up, Alex? How are you doing? How's the weather down there in Tennessee? We're talking about the self and how many, well, it's mentioned a crap ton of times in the solution of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Self-pity. Here's self-pity. Here's all the sentences in the big book that mention self-pity. No words can tell of the loneliness and despair I found in that bitter morass of self-pity. That was from Bill's story. Whatever our protestations, are not most of us concerned with ourselves, our resentments, or our self-pity? The bleeding deacon is one who is just as surely convinced that the group cannot get along without him, who constantly connives for re-election to office, speaking of the debate, and who continues to be consumed with self-pity. Common symptoms of emotional insecurity are worry, anger, self-pity, and depression. The most common symptoms of emotional insecurity are worry, anger, self-pity, and depression. Because we were still bothered by fear, self-pity, and hurt feelings, it was probable we couldn't appraise ourselves fairly at all. Anger, resentments, jealousy, envy, self-pity, hurt pride, all led to the bottle. What up, Miss Holly Ford? Michael, smoking cigarettes is not the same as drinking. They don't intoxicate you. Right. You don't smoke cigarettes and then go throw trash cans through store windows. For one example out of a million. I heard there's a paper mill down there in Tennessee, and you can actually smell it. Hello, my name is James, and I am the problem. I have to get out of my own way. Have you ever said, I know you've said this, so I don't even have to ask, it's a rhetorical question, but have you ever said, I can't live with myself anymore? Who is I, and who is myself? Could it be suggested that I am the higher version of myself? It is always I that is declaring myself is out of control again. I can't control myself. I can't control myself. Are these two people? It occurred to me just now that one might be your higher self, your spiritual essence is I, and your self is the lower. One's the devil on one shoulder, one's the angel on the other. Chore Bunny, at some point, we were taught to overanalyze and question relationships, life, and the motives of others. This causes overactive thoughts, introducing anxiety, frustration, and lack of pure peace of mind. Yes, thinking does cause all of those things. In order to get out of yourself, in order to stop thinking of yourself, mistrust, paranoia, you help others. And you read the big book. You accept higher powers than yourself. Any life run on self-reliance will be unmanageable. You can't spell manageable. You can't spell unmanageable without man. Oh yeah, I heard that, Alex. Yeah, Chore Bunny, at some point we were taught, yes, herein lies the problem. In my opinion, humans are the low point of planet Earth. So far, it seems to me that humans are the low point of planet Earth. We will insist that we are the high point and that all there ever is the Earth. The Earth is ours. It was meant to be. Mankind wrote a book about it and then blamed it on God. These are all my opinions. Please don't get offended. You know, mankind wanted to eat burgers, so they wrote in the Bible, all beasts and flora and fauna are yours, God said. That's only my opinion. But what do I know? I know as much as you. And it's next to nothing. We're tiny specks, but our egos are out of control. Our self-will is out of control. We need to control ourselves. And we're getting there through what I think is a divine intervention on mankind itself. Books like Alcoholics Anonymous from the 1930s is saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. You are powerless over alcohol and your life has become unmanageable. You must come a chameleon. What are the next words to that song? He sucks and blows. He sucks and blows. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Me, Myself, and I. That's a song. I Touch Myself. That's a song. Name some other songs that have self in it. I'm sure I Hate Myself is one of them. I love myself. Something. I have it on the tip of my tongue over here. Self. Let's look up Skimbly Bimbers. All song titles with the word self in it. I'm going to let you guys guess before I cheat and look at some of these. Check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself. What were we talking about yesterday? motives. What is the first song title with the word self in it? Check yourself. Bob Bulgy, careful doing high doses of shrooms coming off of antidepressant. I haven't done high doses of shrooms in a long while. I quit smoking weed, I quit booze, and I also quit the antidepressant. Right. Bill or Bob, thanks for calling. Yeah, I have done a live stream on that before, SSRIs and psychedelics in general. I think it involves the serotonin. But yes, it is hazardous and might be even dangerous. Song titles with the word self in it. Self-conscious. Well, it doesn't say who it's by. Let me get a better list over here. Songs with yourself in the title. Keep Yourself Alive, Queen. Keep Your Hands to Yourself, the Georgia Satellites. Fooling Yourself, Styx, 1978. Lively Up Yourself, Bob Marley. Lively up yourself. Think for Yourself, the Beatles. Respect Yourself, the Staple Singers. Respect yourself. Killing Yourself to Live, Black Sabbath. Enjoy Yourself, the Jackson 5. Make It Easy on Yourself, the Walker Brothers. Express Yourself, Madonna. Express yourself. Do what you want to do. You. I can't help you if I wanted to. Help Yourself, Tom Jones. Make It Easy on Yourself, the Walker Brothers. Express Yourself Again with Madonna. Help Yourself. What? Express Yourself, Charles Wright and the Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band. Pick Yourself Up, Nat King Cole. Be Good to Yourself, Journey. Shout, shout, knock yourself out. These are the things I can bing, bong, boom, come on. Sanctify Yourself, Simple Minds. Shout, shout. Chore Bunny, self-cleaning litter box. I got my sister one of those for her birthday one year. She loves it. Yeah, thanks, Bob Buggleby. Bob Bulgy. Bob Bulgy. Bob Bulger. Bob Bulgy. Can't help myself. Let's look up some more song titles with the word self in it. See if they talk to us. Khalid did a self, Skimbly Bimbers. Okay, we'll just go to this one. Yeah, but I want to see who it's by. You know what I mean, man? What do I want? Me. Scooter bottle. Oh, we'll just read this later. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't make it, you know. Self-esteem, self-destruct, hunt thyself. Conversations with my 13-year-old self, self-righteous. I know none of these songs. Road to oneself. Self-made. No self-control. You know, these are... All right, here's how self is used in the big book. Here's some on self-esteem. Mr. Brown, his attention to my wife, and it affects my self-esteem. This is in the 4th step. What do I fear? How does it affect me? Who do I resent? Lose yourself, Eminem. Mom's spaghetti. Good one, Pat Crawford. I touch myself, Madonna. Let me see if I can think of any more. Myself. Myself. Me, myself, and I. There's got to be a better list. Song titles with the word self in it. For those of you watching post live in retro, feel free to put them in the comments. Songs with the word self in it, because for some reason the internet doesn't know anything tonight. Songs with the word self. Here's lyrics containing the term self. Self-made man. Give myself inside. Self-made. Check yourself. Snoop Dogg. 1500, let's take 'em back. Yeah, big Snoop Dogg, hustle boys. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Self. The lyrics on this one are just self, 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 self. Self-made, featuring Morphine. Check Yourself by Ice Cube. So come on, you chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. 'Cause shotgun shells is bad for your health. You know what I mean? Self-Aware by Jay Ragan. Self-Made by Delay. Self-Sabotage. Check Yourself by Daz Effects. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's Daz Effects. I love them. I had the tape. High Self-Esteem. Fight Myself. Bad Blocks by Method Man. The Trap Spot. Couple nights shoving hard by my damn self. Damn self. By my damn self. Out there by my damn self. I remember I was going hard by myself. Self-Made. Best Self, Lady Bree. Self-Worth. Kill Myself, I Tried. 4S4KI. A Narcissist with Low Self-Esteem, Rod Colville. Self-Loathing, Self-Aware, Self-Doubt. It's All About Me. Self-Deceit, Self-Unaware, Self-Delusional. It's All About Me. Self-Deprecating, Self. Self-Love. Alright, that... You know, it seems like there would be a better list out here. You know what I mean? How else can I word that? Songs with the word self in the title. Lyrics containing myself. I will not stop myself. Myself outside myself. Feeling myself. There's one, I'm feeling myself. slipping away, Trent Reznor. Myself keeps slipping away. Kill myself. Start your day with love. Me, Myself, and I by Boozy Badass. I make noise by myself, slang them toys by myself, did my time by myself, write my rhymes by myself, move packs by myself, kill rats by myself. Me, Myself, and I love being myself. All I need is love being myself by myself. All I need is love being by myself. Me, myself, and I. Myself and I. Myself told myself, Boss Main. Feeling myself. I just me up and had friend. Now I'm feeling so high that they think I'm killing myself. So feel so conceited I can't deal with myself. I give myself away, William McDowell. Obsessed with myself, featuring Malik. I'm obsessed with myself. Get bored, I'm texting myself. I write out checks to myself. So blessed, I'm blessing myself. Rap music, there's a lot of self-confidence and self in rap music. Mr. Self-Destruct, 9 Inch Nails, Pat Crawford says. Bob Bulgy, we all have girl problems. We could talk about those. Yes, let's talk about those. Except they're not really girl problems, are they? They're more problems caused by myself. What's the number one complaint from women about men? He's a narcissist. He's all about himself. All by myself. I'ma do it myself. That's a song I got on my Skimbly Bimbers. I can't do that one. I'll hurt your ears if I try to sing that one. But it's all by myself. We all know the song. All by myself. I lied to myself. Main reason for relapse. I lied to myself and believed it. Who is I and who is myself? I seems to be the higher of the two. I lied to myself. You know, the self isn't powerful enough to believe to spot a lie. The I is the one doing the lying. I relapsed. I couldn't help myself, so I relapsed. Self will run riot. My self-esteem is gone. My self-confidence is gone. I'm all by myself. I can't stand myself. I'ma kill myself. I hope the algorithm AI guy isn't gonna erase this stream because I've said that so many times. When I'm all mixed up and don't know what to do, and the next time I turn around I find a person to shoot, I like to put on some 311. Your street. I'm all in my head. People be talking about themselves so much. Some of the most popular sentences, some of the most common sentences used by us is they involve two words that mean me. I am all in my head. I can't stand myself. I, myself. People are so obsessed with themselves. We have sentences, whole sentences that aren't even that long, and they refer to ourselves in two kinds of tenses. Men today are by and large unappreciated. They go out and work hard labor jobs and travel home to loneliness and ungratefulness. Well, damn, Shore Bunny. You sound nice. Women, men, unappreciated. It's a harsh world. That's the truth. You know what I mean? It's reality. It's God's will. We have to change our perception of reality. And not perception, but like our opinions about reality are what bother us. It's not reality itself. It's ourselves. We are the problems. Talking ourselves into self-pity. Talking ourselves into self-loathing. Talking ourselves into a tizzy. Who's doing the talking and who's doing the listening in that equation? Self-centered behavior. We think that such a view is self-centered and in direct conflict with the new way of living. This self-centered behavior blocked a partnership relation with any one of those about us. Our actor, referring to the alcoholic who thinks he's directing the show called Life, our actor is self-centered, egocentric, as people like to call it nowadays. There's a analogy for the problem of self. In the Big Book, it describes it as alcoholics, we basically think we're directing the show called Life. We're the center, we're in charge. If everyone will just do as we'd prefer, things would be better. But we're not in charge, are we? That's like being an ant on a log going down the Niagara River thinking you're driving. Is basically how we act. And then we get mad when the log doesn't do what we want it to do. We're not the director. We're just actors. And we follow a script. How we act and whether or not we get an Oscar or get fired is up to us. Michael says they've made me into something you don't ever want to know about. Who are they? Jem Smith says, my last dad-in-law, and 20-year-old cat. It killed me. My last dad-in-law, and 20-year-old cat. It killed me. I'm not sure what that means. No free will. We do have free will. But I'm starting to understand, and this is what spiritual teachings of the ages will teach us, is that our self-will, if we use it selfishly, will run riot and we will be miserable, aka in hell. If we decide to use it spiritually and altruistically, meaning for others, we will have eternal life in the kingdom of paradise known as heaven. That is called happiness. In my understanding of the spiritual teachings, the more time we spend with ourselves, on ourselves, thinking about ourselves, we're in purgatory, aka hell. The more we give it away, the more we do for others, the more we get out of our head, we are bound for eternal life, and we are instantly in heaven on earth. How I could just kill a man. Here is something you can't understand. How I could just kill a man. We wives found that, like everybody else, we were afflicted with pride, self-pity, vanity, and all the things which go to make up the self-centered person. And we were not above selfishness or dishonesty. Talking about the wives of alcoholics. A whole lifetime geared to self-centeredness cannot be set in reverse all at once. This means we wake up selfish, self-centered, and self-absorbed. We have to practice the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous. For example, this is my chosen modality. You can try all the things you want. My suggestion is you start with the 12 principles, the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. But this we have to practice. I wake up self-absorbed, self-centered, egocentric. I have to practice giving it away. I have to practice. And when I do, I am relieved of the bondage of self. In the big book, it refers to the bondage of self. We will be relieved of the bondage of self if we practice these principles in all of our affairs. Totally and completely true. He means lost his dad and his kitty too. I'm hearing you, Jem. That sucks. That's a bummer, Jem. Sorry to hear that. On the other hand, as much as addiction can be self-heavy, recovery is too. It is said that the recovery program of Alcoholics Anonymous is a selfish program. Even when we're doing for others, we get help too. The way I see this is there can be no truly altruistic person. If I give away all my food to others, I will starve to death. So there is a purpose for self-preservation. But it gets out of control. It gets too big. Egos get too big. Self-reliance, self-worth, self-confidence, they all get too inflated. But there is a use for self, and you use that self in recovery from the disease of self of alcoholism. The first 3 steps are pretty much all about self. I am powerless over alcohol and my life has become unmanageable. I have to come to believe in a power that's greater than myself. And then I find a God of my understanding and give my will and myself over to it. Step 3 is essentially giving your will and yourself over to the care of God as you understand Him. That has saved my life, my sanity, my happiness, my purpose. It has all been saved. This is what they talk about when they talk about being born again. When we're born, we run the unfortunate gauntlet of being taught by other human beings, most of which have the bondage of self. I want to get a partner for me. I want to get a job because I will like it. These revelations are so powerful, and my spiritual awakening has been so powerful. I am now pursuing a job where I help others. I thought about the salary secondhand. Sure, I think I will enjoy it. Sure, I think I'll strive. I'll thrive. But in helping others, I will gain immortality. I will gain eternal life. When I die, the people I have helped, the people I have affected in a positive way, there will be a ripple effect or a butterfly effect, if you care to. And then families upon families in the distant future can be affected by a single person I have helped today. They may exist because of a message that I got across. So I think that's my purpose. Sure, it'll make me feel good. Sure, it'll get me out of the house. It'll get my social life back, my paycheck back. Sure. However, it's not only for those things. In recovery, it's taught, and I swear I'm tossing this around in the old noggin these days about when the Bible and religious texts refer to eternal life. What if they're talking about, if you're all about yourself until you die, you're dead. But if you live a life of helping others and affecting others positively and spiritually, when you die, you are not dead. Your spirit, your essence, your teachings, your influence goes on, lives on. That's eternal life. What if they're talking about that? You know, there's a lot of metaphors, but it says right in the book, which has come to be my Bible, the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and the 12 principles have become my code. But it says right in the book, any life run on self-will and self-reliance is sure to be unsuccessful. Chore Bunny, there's a time for grief. I don't know what happens in the afterlife, but I always think if my loved ones have a way of checking in, they would want to see me healthy and being available for the living. Right on, man. Right on, little Chore Bunny. My sister Leanne passed away this year from a heroin overdose, and at her memorial, she was really into paranormal and all of that. And I had told her not a week before she died on the phone. We were joking around. I said, if you go before me, promise me you'll haunt me so I have a ghost story. And I told that story at her memorial. You know, let me know you're there, because she was obsessed with ghosts. She wasn't obsessed, but she enjoyed watching paranormal stuff on TV and talking about the afterlife and the paranormal. And I said, Leanne, if you go before me, make sure to haunt my ass. I want some undeniable truth that you're there. So we have a disease of self, and yes, it is a lifelong disease. In recovery, if you're not practicing recovery, we are relapsing. Whether we're drinking or using or not, we are relapsing mentally and emotionally until physically we pick up our drug of choice. When we are in recovery, that is too progressive. That too, recovery as well is progressive. As the disease of addiction is, recovery is as well. In my experience, it progresses until it pops into a spiritual awakening. And I will tell you today, like I told you a week ago, for 7 months, I have not had a thought, an inkling of a thought to drink. It's not in my wheelhouse. I don't think about it. I have been relieved of the obsession to drink simply by practicing the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous. And the word alcohol is only used in the first half of the first step of the 12 steps. All the rest is about living life on life's terms, cleaning house, trusting in God, helping others, doing the next right thing. This is sobriety. Sobriety isn't putting down the bottle and being a bump on a log grump and kicking the dog for the rest of your life because you're not drinking. Alcohol was perceived to be the perfect medicine for our condition. Our condition is alcoholism. The ism of alcoholism is the condition. It's not a wasm, it's an ism, and it progresses. If you don't progress in recovery, you will automatically progress in relapse until we drink. This is proven by immense experience in the 89-year-old community of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. It is proven by immense experience and is a fact. They insist upon it. I heard it when I read it. I've heard for years and years, decades, I've heard people say things like that. If you're not practicing the principles and the steps in your daily affairs, you will drink again. We know this from immense experience. The amount of money you spent the poison before now goes to what? Healthy dog food and healthy food for myself, helping others in the AA basket, I put $1 in. I go to 2 meetings a day sometime. So I spend at least $365 a year on AA, and maybe more with the gas money going. So my money is spent towards my spiritual growth. I just spent $250 to take a peer support specialist certification course. So that money went to expanding my spiritual life by helping others as a life choice career. What's up, Noah? How's things today? We're talking about the problem of self. We are the problem. Self-absorption, selfishness, self-centeredness, self-will. So what kind of problems has yourself gotten you into today, Noah? Hopefully none. I want you all to pay attention to, if you will, do it for me. In the coming hours until our next stream, I want you to pay attention to how thinking in your own head, mostly about yourself, will make you miserable, restless, irritable, and discontent. I haven't drank today or yesterday, so that's about 48 hours. Hell yeah, man. I know you got a case of the efforts. We all get those. Without proper recovery practice, they can be fatal. Some people have, on the history of planet Earth, have said, F it, kaboom, and ended their life. It has been said that suicide is the most selfish act that a human being can perform. Well, drinking alcohol and doing drugs is pretty much slow suicide. So that's pretty selfish as well, considering we don't shoot up, we don't do shots, and we don't snort lines for other people. Not once in my life have I said, sure, I'll do this drug for you, man. You know, for you. I want you to be happy, so I'm going to do this drug. Yeah, I'm going to go to the liquor store and fill up a shopping cart full of booze for my mother, you know, because she would like to see me drink. You might say, yeah, there's times where friends are like, do a shot, man, do a shot. Well, normies, aka non-alcoholic people, sometimes I guess would be like, okay, but this is the last one, you know what I mean? Like, all right, just leave me alone, you know what I'm saying? And maybe I'll do one for your birthday, you know what I mean? Restless, angry, and depressed. I understand. Have you gone to an AA meeting? Have you read the text, the big book text, any more of it? For those of you who don't know, you can read any AA literature on the Everything AA app totally for free. You could also go to a meeting and get a free book just by saying, I'm new here, I'm out of control, I got a case of the efforts. That's good potential. So baby steps, you've been joining Zoom meetings. The next baby step is go to an in-person meeting and tell someone, I'm at the end of my rope, I need help. And get their number. A man. Unless you prefer men sexually, then you get a woman's number. And you say, I need help. How did you do it? You're sober, what, 12 years? How'd you do it? I want 12 years of sobriety. How did you do it? I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm honest with myself. I can no longer do it by myself. Alcoholism is a problem of self, so we cannot fix it ourselves. That would be like a quadriplegic caring for a quadriplegic. somebody with no arms or legs caring for somebody else with no arms or legs. It just won't work. So you find somebody with arms and legs that has recovered from alcoholism, and you say, hey man, I can't do it. I just can't seem to do it. There is no need, Noah, to prove it to yourself. I know we can't do it. You already know you've done some crazy stuff. The nature of the alcoholic will take trying to drink successfully or use successfully to the gates of insanity or death. I don't understand the people who have alcohol collections and won't drink them. Right, you and I both, buddy. I know what you mean. Some people have liquor cabinets. They're like, well, this bottle's about 18 years old, a good year. And I'm like, well, it's about 5 minutes old now. I already drank it. This drunk is about 5 minutes old from that 18-year-old bottle of scotch. And Noah, on the TV, when someone offers another person a drink and they don't take it, I'm like, why wouldn't you have a drink? If you're not an alcoholic, why would you not drink? You know what I'm saying? Obviously I would have the whole bottle. But if the non-alcoholic on TV doesn't take a drink that's offered, I'm like, why would you not have a drink? I don't get it. The story I like, this is one of my own. It's an analogy. There's two people eating in a restaurant. They each have a glass of wine, and the bottle of wine is on the table. One is an alcoholic and one is a non-alcoholic. A fire breaks out in the kitchen, a blazing fire, an oil fire where everybody's panicking. There's people running out. They're on fire. The non-alcoholic gets up, might grab their coat, and heads out. The non-alcoholic, aka me, drinks my glass of wine, then her glass of wine that she left without even thinking about it, and then I grab the bottle before I go outside. Stop me if I'm wrong if you can't even relate to that. I'm grabbing that alcohol before I get out of here. I don't care if I'm half on fire, I'm getting that booze. Chore Bunny says, peace of mind and bright eyes are priceless. I appreciate having more clarity. Don't miss the brain fog. Word. If people get offered or have dozens of alcoholic beverages downstairs, I'd go crazy. Word. We're powerless over alcohol. It's the first step. We cannot do it ourselves, so we go to AA. Michael says, I think I decided a long time ago that life wasn't worth living in this world, and I just decided to drink myself to death. Yeah, I was thinking that too about myself in my drinking days. Is like, I always used to say, you know, taking your own life is a cowardly way out. But really, I was just drinking myself to death. It was a slow, abstract denial way of killing myself. When you drink, you kill yourself. My highest self is walking around right now in recovery. I am the version of myself that I strive to be. It's my highest self. If I were to take one drink, it would kill myself instantly. Myself would no longer be here. I would be now the alcoholic with the phenomenon of craving for another drink, whether it's steal, lie, or cheat. I'm getting that other drink. Whether I'm half on fire or not, I'm getting that other drink. As I stand today, it's been 7 months. I swear to God, I haven't had a thought about drinking. There's been times in my active alcoholism where I will steal booze. I don't care about the laws. I don't care about anything. I've panhandled for booze. I've bought the cheapest booze because I got more of it. I've stolen booze. I've drank family booze. You know, if you say there's no booze in here and you leave me alone in the house, I'm gonna find that booze. Michael says, but when the dying part started and I got sick and in pain, I chickened out. You mean you manned up? It's not chickening out, it's manning up. You were delivered the gift of desperation. The gift of desperation will get us to motivate. The greatest motivation is pain. Simply put, you don't just sit there in a fire when you're burning alive, you will move. So in our greatest pain, on our darkest night, it is before the dawn. So you didn't chicken out, you manned up. Noah says it goes the same with any drug offered to me. Who the heck would say no to it? My mind just couldn't. Exactly, bro. If you walked into a meeting and said that, the people would laugh because they all have been there. We cannot comprehend how some people just don't finish their drink on the table. Or you go out and say you're dry, you're white knuckling yourself to not drink on self-will. Somebody has a drink at the table. Tell me your attention won't be on that drink the entire evening. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He hasn't even drank his drink. Like, he hasn't even drank that one. And like, I would have been ordering another one by now. Like, you know, why is he not drinking that drink? There's all kinds of stuff we alcoholics think that non-alcoholics can't understand. They find it hard to understand how we keep drinking even though we just been in a coma and a car accident, had a grand mal seizure from alcohol withdrawal, lost our girlfriend, lost our job, crashed our car, all our money's gone, now we're homeless. But I'm drinking a plastic bottle of vodka in the snow. Yeah, sure, I'm homeless and jobless and family and friendless, but I'm gonna keep drinking. Non-alcoholics can't understand that. On the other hand, we alcoholics can't understand how that guy still hasn't touched his drink and it's been 47 minutes. That guy on the TV says no to a shot of scotch or a drink. And you know, the business guys that have drinks in their office. I don't know about Benadryl addiction, man. But when I was in juvenile detention, I found out, I'm not even going to tell you because I'm worried about you, Noah. Benadryl takes the edge off of anxiety. That is something in the books of a home remedy for anxiety and insomnia is Benadryl. But don't go taking more than one because it doesn't end up well, I'll tell you that. You want your stomach pumped full of charcoal? Our thinking is this: if one drink feels good, 70 will feel amazing. If there was a pill that cured addiction, I would break 5 of them up and snort the rails. That's the alcoholic and addict's thinking. And there's no way around it. That's just the disease. We have no off switch. In the big book, the doctor's opinion refers to it as the phenomenon of craving, or the allergy, the physical allergy that induces a phenomenon of craving. Our disease is one of self, and it's one of the mind. So we take mind-altering drugs to get out of ourself. In Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, they teach us other ways, healthy ways of getting out of ourself, breaking the bondage of self. We perform esteemable things to gain self-esteem. We help others to get out of ourself. It literally, if you break down the words, makes complete sense. The only way out of yourself is to help another. You're now thinking about them. You're not thinking about yourself. I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. Tell me you can't relate to that. I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. I'm an egomaniac with self-esteem issues. I'm an egomaniac with a with low self-worth. I'm an egomaniac with an inferiority complex. I'm not much, but I am all I think about. Tell me you can't relate to that. People my age drink at night. I don't have a timing. Like I said, others think of alcohol for partying. I think of it as a glass of coffee, no issue in drinking in the morning. Right. You're an alcoholic. Alcoholics are like that. Soon the parties... Dude, there will come a day where you look up from the party and you're the only one there, drinking still. Most, if not all, alcoholics I've ever talked to ended up drinking alone because they drank more. It was shameful. People and relationships get in the way of our drinking. There are certain people who don't want us to drink, so we drink alone. One day you will look up from the party. One day you'll look up and realize you're the only one there at the bar, at the party. What you're talking about, Weather God, is something that only alcoholics can relate to. So a room full of alcoholics like Alcoholics Anonymous is the place to be, or else we will feel alone and we're back at it. We're back to drinking, self-pitying, self-loathing, and self-medicating with alcohol. It's a disease of self, so we self-medicate. It's a disease of the mind, so we take mind-altering drugs. Literally, it makes perfect sense. It's a disease of self, so we end up killing ourselves. It's a disease of self, so we self-medicate. I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. As we recover, our self-seeking will slip away in the promises of Alcoholics Anonymous. Self-seeking will slip away and we begin to think more of our fellows and fellettes. You know, even when you turn 35, most non-alcoholic people will have a drink in the evening, or maybe get drunk at a wedding or tipsy or whatever, but they're not going to get arrested, throw a trash can through a window, hit on their boss's wife, and spit on the police as they're arresting you. These are alcoholic problems because we have a bondage of self. How dare you arrest me? Why is this happening to me? Why me? My sponsor looked at me and said, why not you? You know what I mean? Yeah, alcohol, I never understood the whole partying with it. It's medicating your own mind. Partying is jumping off a roof and throwing trash cans. Word. That's what I'm saying. Which is ridiculous and insane. This just in debate is a shite show. We're screwed. Good evening, James. I could have told you that, and I haven't watched a lick of politics, well, probably ever. Most politics I've watched are on SNL. Weekend Update, and like, they're gonna make fun of, what's today? So Saturday's episode of SNL, Saturday Night Live, there will be a skit, I'm predicting, on today's debate. I couldn't even tell you who's there. I would say America's so messed up that Trump is probably there at the presidential election debate, even though he's a felon and there's never been a president in the United States that has had a mugshot of them. And, you know, so if he gets hired as president, but I apply for McDonald's and I'm a felon and don't get hired, how is that right? If I'm a felon and apply to McDonald's and they say, nah, we don't hire felons, but the president just got hired and he's like a 23rd offense reckoning felons. Trump was talking about Hunter and Joe keep acting like He's about to run and slap Trump. What? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just put simply, if I apply for my job and they don't hire felons, can't I just say, well, the highest seat in the nation, the highest job in the nation just got hired and he was a felon? Oh, shoot. Trump is all about himself. I'm not a politician. I couldn't even tell you what Democrat or Republican means. But I will tell you about people. And I do not like many people that run for, politics. I mean, who knows? The reason I don't get into politics is because I don't know shit. What do I know to have an opinion? If I were to dedicate my life to politics and go to school for politics and like move to Washington, D.C. and dedicate my every waking hour to politics, then maybe I would have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't waste my time with untruth. To waste your time on something that isn't reality, that isn't truth, is like the biggest waste of time to me. That's just like the biggest waste of time. As an alcoholic, as a recovering alcoholic, I can only control everything in arm's distance of me in this moment. I don't bother myself with what's going on in Ukraine. I don't bother myself with what's going on in Syria. I don't even know if Syria is even relevant right now. But those are just examples. Hey, Brunson, what up? Cindy, how's it going? Cindy, I appreciate all your comments. I'm glad you're coming around. You sound like you've had an awakening of sorts. I'm happy you went to your fourth, but I can't say that. I can say that I've been in an AA meeting, but I can't say that you've been there. Not that you have. Right. My point about politics is why as a recovering alcoholic, you cannot waste your time with any untruths about the world. We live life on life's terms. In my observation, life's terms suggest that I have absolutely nothing to do with who gets elected, whether I vote or not. Reality has dictated that voting doesn't matter. Now, I don't know much, but it seems that way to me. It seems like the powers that be want us to think that we have a say and have for years, but we don't. It's been proven. Or maybe it hasn't. Don't let me talk because I don't know. I, as a recovering alcoholic, can only control everything that's around is in arm's length distance in this moment. I can't control my future. That's called future tripping. And the future tripping will take your ass away and it will take you right into a drunk. Like, shit, what am I going to do for that wedding in December? I can't drink. I might as well drink now. Tell me that's wrong, and I'll tell you it's happened to me. Just getting in from work, Cindy says. I've been to a few meetings, but I never got into it because of the God thing. I'm ready to try now. Let me tell you the 3 things my sponsor said to me. And after he said these things, I could do a 3rd step, hand my will and my life over to a God of my understanding. First, he said, "Are you God?" So, Cindy, do you think you're God? I know enough about you at this point to know you're going to say no. So stop putting your faith in your will. Stop putting your faith in your opinions and decisions. We are the problem. The second thing he said to me is, what is your conception of a God if it isn't the one in the Bible, if it isn't Buddha's, if it isn't, what is your conception of a God? And I said, all powerful, incomprehensible. Words cannot describe it. My small human mind cannot comprehend it. But it is it is something not of what I am experienced with, which is like physical world and like words and give and take and all that. My puny concepts cannot even relate to it. That is a God that I would imagine is. It's nothing like we describe it. We can't describe it because we don't have the capacity. And he said, all right, that's a good start. Now, the third question he said was, have you ever prayed for the willingness to believe? And I said, no. And he said, why don't you give that a try? But I was already there. When I described the God of my understanding, I realized I had already had a concept of God. I had just described it. And I did the third step right then and there. I said, I'm done with my will. I'm done with my ideas. I'm done with my great opinions about why God doesn't exist or anything. Because I don't know shit about it, God. I cannot say anything about it. My ideas have gotten me for 20-some years, for 43 years, my ideas have gotten me kicked out of preschool and kindergarten. I had to spend 5 years in high school. They've gotten me drunk. They've gotten my relationships fall apart. They've gotten me fired. They've had me quit. My bright ideas, my own will, me. Not on purpose. It was because I was blind. After he asked me those three questions, are you God? No. Are you God, James? No. Have you ever thought about praying for the willingness to believe in God? No. What is your conception of God? And are you willing to hand your will and life over to that? And I said, on a leap of faith, I'm so desperate now that yes, I am willing. And that was that. My third step was done. The first step, powerless over alcohol, my life has become unmanageable. None of us would be here if we didn't realize that. Done. Second step, came to believe in a power greater than myself that could restore me to sanity. I wouldn't have been in the car with him in the parking lot of an AA meeting if I didn't come to believe that AA could restore me to sanity. Done. The God thing always tripped me up too. What am I handing my life over to? I've never talked to Jesus. These are all my ideas, and they're silly. In retrospect, after being awoken spiritually, I look back at my arguments, my best opinions about God, and I just say, it looks like a baby having a tantrum. Who am I to say there is no God? Who am I to even question when 89 years worth of alcoholics have been delivered from their bondage of self and stop drinking and live on productive, healthy lives? Who am I to come along and think that I have an original idea that says this is why I can't do this step and blah, 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 blah. Whatever it took, I was going to do that step, and I took a leap of faith. I started putting my will and my life into the care of God as I understand Him. That means just basically into my, AA at first, group of drunks, GOD. Good orderly direction, GOD. God's will be done is what I started saying, not mine. God's will, not mine, be done. I don't care if God conjures up images of just a whole bunch of corrupt, whatever. God is what I choose to call it, because why am I going to reinvent the wheel? God of my understanding doesn't have a face. It's not in the image of man. He doesn't give some people cancer and give some people candy. He's not obsessed with giving me everything I want. I can't understand it. There is no way I can. I am not about to try. It is being more and more is being revealed to me about how I understand spirituality and how I understand the world. And one thing's for sure, I am the problem. My ideas, my best ideas, got me a seat in AA. My best ideas got me jails, institutions, and death. That is undeniable. I have decades of proof. Now, and every time I have said, all right, I'm not really capable. I guess I'm sick, like you guys say, Alcoholics Anonymous. You guys say I'm sick. All right, my picker's broken, so I don't know how to pick a sponsor. How do I pick a sponsor? They told me. I followed. Yo, I'm really horny. What should I do? You think I can, resume sex life? Not just yet. Some people will say, wait a year. That's a rule of thumb. I was 8 years clean and sober, and I still wasn't ready to treat another human being with respect and dignity. It was all about me. You know what I mean? And I'm waiting on God's will, and if God's will, and if reality dictates that my dying day I will have spent without ever having a lifetime partner, then that's God's will. I accept it. Yeah, be careful when picking a sponsor, because you're an alcoholic. You're the one who picked booze. So don't just go picking your sponsor just because they don't like to work the steps and they like to play disc golf instead, because that's what I did, and I never got it. This time I picked a sponsor on the advice of another group. That's how I picked my sponsor. I didn't think he liked me. I was intimidated by him. Turns out I can relate a lot to him. He has helped me a great deal. He took me through the steps. I told him I'm going to work these steps, but I'm going to take all the suggestions that I'm going to run everything by you. What about this roommate? This guy wants to move in. Should I do it? It'll help me out financially and stuff. He said, you better wait 6 months. 6 months passed. The roommate wanted to do it again. And I said, I think I'm pretty confident I have my mind about me. And as it turns out, I am beginning to be a good judge because I work with the principles of AA. And at the last minute, I told this guy he couldn't move in. And even though I myself saw all these benefits to having him move in, I was just about to move him in and said, I can't do it. It's causing too much turmoil. It must not be in God's will. The next day he relapsed, or even he had been relapsing and lying to me. So God's will be done. Trust in God, not yourself. We are not God. No, you do need to make amends, Michael. It's your idea to not make amends. It's also your idea to drink. Add that together and you'll get the answer. The answer is do as others who are healthy have done, and you'll get what they got. Keep doing what you're doing, and you'll get what you've always gotten. So yes, you need to make amends. Not because I tell you to, because Alcoholics Anonymous suggests it. Good night, Noah. Love you too, bro. I haven't always been a good person, bro. It's a direct result of working the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. There is no reason for me to say that unless it was true. All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up today. If you're interested in joining the channel and helping me carry the message and getting some perks as well, feel free to explore the join button at the top of the chat and on my channel page. Just click on join, and I will do for you what I can. And I will see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow is Friday. I work Saturdays and Sundays, so Saturdays and Sunday evenings I work now at the zoo as an upstanding tax-paying citizen of America. And I'm not falling down drunk and not showing up from work, and I'm not going, I'm not drunk. So I have a job. So I won't be streaming Saturdays and Sundays, but I will be streaming tomorrow, Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Self-centeredness of drinking. The greatest example I can think of is I've never pounded alcohol altruistically for another person. I've never said, I can really help this person out if I get completely blacked out, shit-faced drunk. It's always for me. I get drunk. We get sober. Think about that one. And until tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, keep it clean, keep it real, and keep doing the damn thing as long as it's in line with God's will. Peace.